What is going on YouTube? Today we're going to be talking about how to make your stationary shots. So everything from the tripods or putting it on a table, a bookshelf, and kind of looking at an object a lot more interesting than it could be if you were just looking at something like this. See, that's super boring, right? So I'm going to be showing you guys how to do some stuff in post-production and how to set up and kind of see what can make things a lot more interesting. And I'm going to walk you through the process. I'm going to show you my shots just so you can know that I'm not cheating my system with this, and you'll see how it's done. So I've got my setup right here, and we're gonna use that to film some B-roll on a tripod. So nothing's gonna be moving. You're gonna see how interesting that shots like that can be if you put in that extra effort. So first of all, welcome to the channel, guys. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed. And today we're going to be going through how to make your stationary shots a lot more interesting, and I'm going to give you guys several different ways. And the first thing is doing some handheld. Handheld is a lot more intimate. It's more relatable to viewers. It kind of gets them that feel of, you know, the hand shaking, a little bit of movement on the screen. It is a good feel, especially for that vlog style feel. You're gonna get a lot of movement in that, but if that's what you're going for, a handheld is something that you can do. And first of all, I'm going to go into my camera and I'm gonna set up the camera to the highest resolution I possibly can, and on the 1DX2 it's gonna be 4K 60, and I want to do 60 because I can do slow-mo. 60 frames per second is gonna be your easier slow-mo. You can't really do slow-mo in 23.98 or 24 or 30. Slow-mo in those frame rates are going to be really not at all good. So 60 frames per second should be your minimum if you plan to do slow-mo at all. So I just set my camera to 4K 60. You can see right there it says 59.94, which is basically 60, and that's going to be our frame rate for all of this B-roll. Now, the reason you want to use your highest possible frame rate is because you're gonna get, you're gonna have to zoom in a little bit in post-production, and you want to be able to maintain all the detail that you can. So the highest resolution is gonna be the one that you're gonna want, because if you zoom in on a low resolution, it's gonna be really pixelated, really blurry, and it's gonna look really bad. You grab that highest resolution possible so you can maintain all the detail and the sharpness and the non-pixelation of your video. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take this rig right here and I'm gonna set up my shot. So this is actually my whole YouTube setup, and I'm just gonna throw it on over here. Okay, so we're gonna set up the shot right now. I'm gonna frame it with my monitor because I have one. Let's see what this looks like. If you take a look at this frame, you can see that it is pretty wide, and you're gonna want that because we're gonna be zooming in post-production, and when you zoom in, you're gonna want to be able to keep as much as you possibly want in the frame for your image. So we're actually gonna take this one little image, maybe record 2 or 3 more, and we're gonna make a quick little B-roll segment, and we're gonna make it a lot more interesting. But let's see what I can come up with, and I'm first gonna play it for you guys just flat out stationary on the tripod, so you guys know that I'm not kind of messing with your head, okay? I think I've got all the shots that I need. Alright, now that we have all of our shots, here's what it looks like composed into a B-roll segment without any movement. I'm gonna make this really quick for you guys so you guys don't get too bored watching it. Now, when you look at that, you see the B-roll segment, and you're like, okay, it's alright. I wish there was a little bit more movement, but it's okay, I guess. So it's pretty boring. It's pretty boring because there's no movement. It's just stationary. Nothing's going on. You just see the quick actions, and that's it. But we can make this 10 times better with just a little bit of movement, and you don't need any other program for this, just the editing software that you use, as long as it can handle keyframing. And keyframing is going to be super important to this because it pretty much does everything for you. We're not working with transitions here, we're working with keyframing the positions. Now there's several different things that you can do to make your stationary video a lot more interesting, and you can use these techniques to film yourself like I just did. One of these ways is going to be to zoom in and keyframe. So the most important thing you're going to want to make sure is that your program that you're editing with has the potential to keyframe. I know that Final Cut has it, I know that Premiere Pro has it. So we're going to be going through Premiere Pro and kind of running through how to do it. So in Premiere Pro, you're going to open it, and I'm just going to go through keyframing in general because we're going to be keyframing throughout the whole thing, and rather than just going through each individual one, I'm going to teach you how to keyframe, and then I'm going to tell you the different ways to use that keyframing to make the video a lot more interesting. So to keyframe, you're going to kind of go in there. There's going to be a clock symbol. It's going to look like a clock where the position, the scale, the opacity and stuff are. This is what it looks like if you don't realize what that is. There's going to be a clock on the left side of that, so you're going to click that on each one or whichever ones you're going to use, and that's going to give you the potential and the ability to add keyframes. Now you jump over to the right side of that bar, and there's going to be a diamond shape. After you click that button, it's going to be available to be pressed. That's going to allow you to add a keyframe. So you're going to jump from the first part of the video, so the very beginning of the video, you're going to have a keyframe there. You're going to insert that keyframe and then jump to the other end of the video and insert another keyframe. And a quick way to do that is just to press the arrow keys down and up. That'll jump to the end of the clip in the specific track you're on. So that is basically how you keyframe, and that's pretty much all you're going to need to know to be able to do these really easy, additions to your video. Let's go over the several possible ways that you can make your stationary video more interesting. Now, you can add a rotation, you can add a zoom, you can add a position, keyframe, so it looks like a slide. Now, I'm gonna go through each one with you, so it kind of, it's a lot easier because I can just say it, but it won't really click with you. So I'm gonna show you guys what these look like. So this is gonna be your rotation one, and I add a little bit of zoom, so it's a little bit more dramatic, and it looks a lot better when you add the zoom. See, because without the zoom, it's just a spinning clip, which is okay, but it's a lot better when you add that zoom in with it because it's gonna give you a more gimbal effect of someone pushing and pulling in and out of the frame. That is one way to do it. When you do the zoom by itself, it's pretty dramatic also. It looks like, something in a scary movie or something, like a hallway that never ends or something like that. It's something that you can do, something panning in, panning out, like, something dramatic to show off a product or something. That could be something to do with a stationary shot to make it a lot easier for you. Another thing is you can create a slide. A slide is going to make it feel like a gimbal movement, kind of. It's going to give you that, potential panning and zooming of a slider. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to zoom in as much as you want. It could be 125%, could be 150%, could be 200%, whatever you're comfortable with. And once you do that, you're going to go to the position and you're going to keyframe that, and you're just going to move it from one side to the next, or from one position to another position, whatever you want it to be, and it's going to give you this panning effect. And you can always mix it in with other zooms and scales, and zoom in and scale and position and rotation. You can mix them all together and kind of experiment with what comes out of these mixtures of basic effects. So in the end, I did a bunch of transitions. I'm gonna lay them out for you in like a text down below here. This is what the B-roll segment went from the stationary, still boring shots. This is what I came out with. Now that is definitely 10 times better than what I initially had, right? So much more interesting than that boring stationary shot. And if you didn't notice, it's the same exact times, the same exact everything, just with these extra effects added to them, these basic effects to just kind of make it seem like it was on a gimbal, or someone was with me, someone was recording for me, someone was using their slider, whatever. This is going to increase your production value 10 times rather than just having it sit on that tripod doing nothing and having just a boring shot. So I hope this video helped you guys out for some ideas for your own videos, whatever it may be. I hope that this really helps you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day, morning, night, wherever you're watching from, and I'll see you then. Peace.